I want to give a special shout out to my co-host in the background. That's my heater, y'all, because it's cold. It is cold and it's space heater season. So if y'all hear something rattling, it's my heater. And it is somewhat doing the trick. I am thankful that I have shelter. I couldn't even imagine. And it ain't even got cold yet. And speaking of colds, yeah, they got me. Somebody got me. Whatever it is. I know my eyes are aching. And yeah, they got me. It could be all the disgusting people at the sauna. It could be anything. But in a way, I'm a little happy because, not happy, let's be clear, but I'm in my mind, I'm getting this over with before Thanksgiving. So wonderful, wonderful news. But yeah, I pumped my body. I did oregano. I took a turmeric, ginger, nasty shot. I've been taking it all today, okay? I've been putting my finger in the hollow of my neck to stop from coughing, whatever TikTok provides. I haven't broke down yet to make the onion honey cough syrup yet because I'm just too lazy. And when they always tell you to do these things, do they not think like you're sick? I can't be cutting up no onion right now. So yeah, happy Halloween to all those that celebrate. My boys are too big now, and when candy does get passed out, my son normally does it, but he didn't this year. And let's face it, like I said, I'm not feeling well. I wasn't trying to see no grimy kids, but happy Halloween, happy November 1st. We are already here, and the worst part of the year for me is when we fall back. I absolutely hate daylight savings time. I don't know why we still do it, and it's so obnoxious, but it makes the days longer and just so yeah, as you can tell, I'm in a great mood today. I cooked at home today. My appetite hasn't went away. That's a good thing. But I cooked at home. I wasn't trying to, make myself worse by getting some nasty workers' germs on top of whatever I got. So I cooked out at home, worked out at home. I still have my energy to do all those things. So hopefully, now that I'm at the ache portion of my whatever this is, my husband keeps saying it's the flu. Like I told him, I don't care what it is. I just know I got something. They got me. But I haven't coughed this whole time since I've been talking to y'all, so that's a good sign. Because I was coughing all day. So either the Mucinex kicking in, the oregano, I don't know. Something's kicking in, y'all. I did it all. The freaking immune system. It's something else, isn't it? I just don't know why we have to get sick. I don't know what the purpose of that is. I still can't figure it out. I know that there's germs in the air, but why? Wasn't as much disinfectant and everything that the world has to offer. Why is things still flying in my nose and around me? It's disgusting. But it always still takes me back to when I was sitting in that nasty sauna yesterday and all them people was talking, man. If I could have just... I ain't gonna say. But yeah, other than that, y'all, nothing was really happening in the news today except for a bunch of people wearing their costumes. A lot of people were mad at the Kardashians because they said they were blackfishing. If you don't know what that means, it's when they make their skin look darker than what it is. And we know the Kardashians are known for that. But yeah, the war is still going on over in Israel. Gas prices are still high. Everything is still everything. Let me look at some more news though and see what we got here. And like I said, shout out to my heater in the background. Let's see what we got here. The internet is moving so. No show socks are unsung and unseen heroes. Don't know why that's New York Times news, but it is. Tips on avoiding car issues in the cold weather. It's that time of year where we gotta start our car, y'all. It sucks. Still waiting on the toxicology report from Matt Perry. The Venezuelan government's move to annul the election of opposition candidate to challenge President Maduro raises questions about its commitment to a free election. Tyler Christopher, known for his roles in General Hospital and Days of Our Lives, had died at the age of 50. I never was into soap operas. I watched them when I was in Korea because there was nothing else on TV, but I never could get it back into that. I don't know why, but it just wasn't my thing. The Rangers won tonight on Halloween. Looks like the Texas Rangers might win it all, y'all. I wanted it to come out of Texas just because I'm always going to be anti-Texas. President Biden would veto a House Republican proposal that would send aid to Israel, but would require cuts to the IRS funding and leave out assistance to Ukraine. So that's the bill that the House Republicans are proposing. And they're saying Biden is going to veto it. There's a cough. Listen, I'm for defunding the IRS. I'm sorry. I know they say it helps the rich, but the rich still ain't pay taxes. So, I mean, I'm all for it. I'm sorry. North Dakota woman has been accused of fatally poisoning her boyfriend with antifreeze, and what authorities say may have been a plot claim, part of his $30 million inheritance. When you're rich, that I guess that's something that you have to worry about. Somebody killing you for your money, but do you have to tell people you're rich? That's my problem. If I was rich, I wouldn't tell anybody. Not that I am, but I'm just saying. New York man allegedly pointed a gun at a 6-year-old boy who dropped off a Halloween goodie bag at the wrong home and went to retrieve it. I mean, that's the thing about Halloween and people with guns. It's dangerous out here. Let's see what else is going on. There's an Alaska man who has been arrested and charged with threatening to kidnap and injure a U.S. senator. The FDA is warning parents and caregivers not to buy or serve certain pureed fruit pouches to toddlers because they got something in them. That Wana banana doesn't even sound right, so just don't do it. DoorDashers warn of delays due to Halloween and delivery times because you guys aren't tipping. Luckily for me, I don't DoorDash anymore. I gave that up. Mariah Carey is ready for Christmas. She can't wait. Get that bag, Mariah. Get that bag. Michigan Supreme Court rejected an attempt to revive charges against former Republican Rick Snyder in the Flint water crisis, which is unfortunate, but I just wish those people can get paid. That's what I like. Kim is already working on Northwest's new branding. She's already starting because Kimmy Cakes is probably finally getting old, so she's getting her kids ready. So OJ Simpson's so unbothered, y'all. He is like, man, if you were to have a spirit animal, you would want it to be him, because the man literally beat a double murder trial, went to prison for a little bit for stealing back his merchandise, but he still gets out and just thinks about, people still interview him, and the way they write about him, they said, a very interesting week is how the former NFL great described his past few days. potentially needing to have open heart surgery. Simpson explained that he had been falling asleep at stoplights and decided to consult with his doctor, who advised him to come in immediately. Next thing I know, I got 2 crews of people talking about opening my chest and doing stuff to my heart. Doctors ultimately decided to go through his wrist for this procedure as he was put to sleep. Simpson said he woke up a little earlier than expected from the surgery. He said, I wake up in the middle and they're like blasting Wu-Tang Clan. And I'm thinking, what am I hearing? And was that Wu-Tang Clan? You know, I guess some people, when they do surgeries, they play music, but that's what they were hearing. So he said he looks up, referring to heaven, and follows up by saying, oh, I know they ain't playing Wu-Tang Clan in heaven. He then looks down at hell and says, am I down here? And so people in the comments were eating that up. They're like, why would you think you'd be going to hell, OJ? Somebody, they said, Mace has this podcast, Mace Says, where they play and protect your neck. But yeah, OJ just be out here like he never got accused of nothing. And I still stand by, I think OJ is guilty, but if I didn't know any better, I would think he's innocent the way he lives his life. He does not live his life with a guilty conscience at all. I mean, even just the thought of him not doing it and the fact that his ex got murdered in cold blood, beheaded, and he's still just doing interviews, going golfing, living his best life. Like, he is the epitome of unbothered to me. Marcus Jordan is still dating Scottie Pippen's ex, and he said he wants his father to be his best man at his wedding, which, you know, Michael Jordan ain't gonna do that. But they're really trying to milk this whole situation with, like, nobody literally cares. Poor Larsa, she's too old to be relevant, so she's trying everything. Ex-NBA player Joe Smith explode after learning his wife's OnlyFans account. You could have talked to me before you did it. It's not even his wife, it's his longtime partner, so there's that. He said, I can't believe I'm sitting here just finding out you got an OnlyFans page. Out of all these years, the disrespect comes with it. You could have talked to me before you did it. He added, that's BS, that's effed up. I'm telling you, that's effed up. In 2018, Smith and Chavez tied the knot with their wedding broadcast on TV program Say Yes to the Dress. Chavez clarified that it was her decision to create an OnlyFans account. Look, it's not effed up. So I have an OnlyFans page and he's mad because he's just not finding out. I guess they are married, but somebody said they need money. She creates an OnlyFans. He knew she wasn't making money on the OnlyFans, so they make this video. Now everyone knows she has an OnlyFans. Subscriber numbers go up. Boom. Now money's coming in. There you go. No shade, but her wig is giving very much booty talk sticks. The acting was subpar, to be worthy, but the marketing tragedy is like the bomb. It's a skit to promote her OnlyFans. She's a porn star. Somebody said he knew she was a porn star when he met her. There's that. That's how, she did promote her OnlyFans with this little skit. So many people do skits now. It's hard to tell what's real, y'all. Let's get into these Reddit y'all, because as y'all can hear my voice and everything else, it's just not pretty at all. It's just not. Let's see here. What famous person had the most undeserved fall from grace? I think Jane Fonda, because she was like ahead of her time when she was like protesting the war. Now it's cool to protest the war, but back when she's still relevant, but she got like a lot of crap for doing what she did. Let's see what you guys say. Amanda Bynes, I miss that era. of people. Pee Wee Herman, yeah, Pee Wee Herman, y'all definitely went in too hard on that man. And he ain't even ever touched no kids. He was pleasuring himself. George Michael, yeah, he bore the brunt of 90s homophobia. I think because so many people was into him. Winona Ryder, ever since she stole that little necklace. Janet Jackson, yeah, Janet Jackson with that fake boob unveiling. And just but now that Britney's coming after Justin Bieber, maybe they can team up together and take him down. What's something you know is real but others don't seem to believe in? The Lord. Duh. The Lord and Savior. That a bird once flew through the open windows of my car straight through and out the other side. There are a lot of people that don't know narwhals are actual animals. I don't even know what that is. Concrete boats, they're rare, but they do exist. Restless leg syndrome. I always wonder about that, because does it just really mean you got crazy legs? Somebody said people think it's just being a little uncomfortable and not finding a good position to sleep in. It's actually an uncontrollable urge to move your legs and feel almost like muscle spasms, and it is absolutely maddening. Really, if my cat is sleeping on my bed, I can pet him and it makes it stop. I have no idea why. Probably anxiety. My dog knows what I'm saying, even though she pretends she's not. This is fact. I know my dog be knowing what I'm saying, and I ain't believe that my dog can talk. She looks at me like she want to say something, and I just want her to get it off her chest. But in a way, I don't, because once your dogs start talking, they not gonna never shut up. So it just is what it is. What is generally safe but can be fatal if not used correctly? Shoot, that's so many things. Somebody says stairs. Your bathroom. Ink cap for mushrooms. Mushrooms are very dangerous. One of my favorite phrases is the only difference between medicine and being poisoned is that the dosage. True. Garage doors. Mess with the springs and they will F you up. Yeah, there's so many things that could take you out, man. This is the weirdest statement. Anyone else notice there aren't always lubricated down there? I'm 29 years old, and if my significant other and I are doing things and I'm getting really into it, I get wet, obviously, but it takes time. However, I feel like I should be wet way more often. Like, I won't be just sitting there doing whatever and be wet down there. Is this normal? Is something physically wrong with me? Somebody says stay hydrated. Somebody said welcome to your 30s. Somebody said, girl, I'm 50. I was never very wet, and now it's worse. Just get some KY jelly. That is why they invent KY jelly. Are there any girls that like guys with a chubby belly? Well, of course. Of course. They're soft to lay on, and you don't want it to be too big, obviously, but yeah. Somebody said if he's fat, that means I can get fat. Somebody said personally no. If it's just softness, I wouldn't care. If it's a little belly, I wouldn't like it, but I could overlook it. But if it's a beer belly, yeah, beer belly, no. A little soft belly is fine, but not no beer belly. Somebody said I like it. Somebody said yes, absolutely. Dad bods are my favorite. I keep cheering my boyfriend on to eat more. I actually like when my husband gets a little beer belly. I mean, not beer belly. I don't want him to get no beer belly. Sometimes during football season, he be scaring me, but it goes back down, thank the Lord. But I do like when he gets a little belly on him. It's cute. But Let's get into these story times, y'all, so I can save my voice. I wish I could turn this heater up, but I got it as high as it'll go. This ain't right. This is Michael Jackson talking about Blanket. He says Blanket's mama is black. Blanket definitely doesn't look like the other kids.
His mother's black, yeah. But Blanket's so light. Black people were called colored people because we come in all colors. From very white, as white as my hand, to very dark, as the dark of your shirt. My father has blue eyes. You know, and when they see Paris, they always think Debbie. But that could easily be my father's genes, you know.
Really?
Of course.
Michael Jackson, when he explains stuff, it sounds like he's about to sing a song, but it's funny. I mean, he's telling the truth, but yeah, Blanket's mama's black. I didn't know that.
Alright, so let me tell y'all how my Hinge match blocked me. We went on a date after matching, maybe after like a week. And I thought that was great because I'm like, oh, you're showing initiative. Like, usually you match with somebody and it's always, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, that's the conversation. Shit gets so boring, over it. So he planned a date within a week. And the fact that he planned it, that's a plus for me because I need people who can take initiative because I don't like planning things. But also, if it's a date and you're asking me, you should plan it. So we go on the first date. Everything was great. I'm asking all the questions. I'm asking, are you crazy? I'm asking, what's the craziest thing you've ever done to an ex? I'm asking, if you got kids, are you in a relationship? Is there someone out there that thinks they're in a relationship with you? Like, I'm asking all these questions, and you're giving me these answers that sound great. So I'm like, all right, cool. Things are going well here. We end up going to a second spot after the first place. Had a great old time. We even kissed, and I don't be kissing on first dates like that. But he was fine. So it was just like, and we had a little drinks in our system. Great. He's like, I want to see you again. Cool. One thing I realize about myself, though, especially in dating, I'm very accommodating. I'm very like, oh, it's okay. I give grace. I give the benefit of the doubt. And I really need to stop doing that. Stop giving as many chances. Like, I need to really be, you mess up once, one and done kind of thing. And I'm still struggling to do that, but I'm working on it. Nonetheless, second date gets planned. We decide we're going to go bowling. I'm a competitive girl. I suck at bowling, but I'm competitive, so I want to have fun, so that's cool. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? Since you came to Brooklyn, because he lived in Queens, since you came to Brooklyn, second date, we could go to Queens. This is me being accommodating. I'm saying this, and I don't even have a car, so that means I got to take MTA. I can't remember if he had a car and, like, you know, making him pick me up, so Again, I don't remember. I feel like he didn't drive, and this is why I didn't be like, oh, okay, well, are you going to pick me up? But also in my mind, it's like, well, if he lives in Queens and he has a car, I live in Brooklyn, why would I make you drive to Brooklyn to pick me up to now go back to Queens, and then you possibly have to drop me back home and then drive back to Queens? To me, in my mind, I don't think that's fair. But I'm learning, let these men do what they're supposed to do. Nonetheless, we agree on the time for bowling, right? Cool. He hits me up day of like, oh, you know, can we push the time back? Like, I'm running behind schedule. No problem. Okay, cool. We agree on a new time. So now I'm getting ready to leave. I leave my house because where I live in the depths of Brooklyn, it's like I live in Narnia and everything else is on the other side of things. So me getting to Queens via MTA, because I was trying to save money, takes me a little minute. So I have to leave at a certain time to get to a place on time. I'm a very timely person. Everybody knows this. So I text him as I'm getting closer, and I'm just like, hey, I'm on the way. Like, I still had some time to get there, but nonetheless, I said I'm on the way. He didn't reply, so I'm thinking he's possibly driving, or maybe he's on the train himself. So that's why he didn't answer me back. I didn't think anything of it. We agreed on a time, so I'm going based off the time we agreed on. So now I arrive at the bowling alley. This is like springtime, summertime too. So like I'm standing outside the bowling alley. Thank God it wasn't cold, because I think I'd have been way more pissed. But nonetheless, I arrive at the bowling alley and I text him, hey, I'm here. Y'all want to know his response? His response was, who told you to leave your house? I didn't tell you to leave your house. Go back home. So now I'm like, why are you talking to me like I'm his kid? Like that was my father speaking to me that way. That confused the hell out of me. So I took a minute and then I replied back and I was just like, yo, your energy through text is really crazy. Like, what's up with you? I'm realizing the text is taking a long time to send. I got 5 bars. I got 5G. Like, my service is great, and I'm outside, so my service is working. I pay my bill every month, so my service is working. I see that the message now never says delivered, and it says sent as a text message. So I'm like, turn green. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's underground. I'm still trying to give the benefit of the doubt here. Like, maybe he's underground. Why did my shit turn green? Like, what's up? So I'm sitting there. I'm like, nah. So I tried to call, go straight to voicemail. So I'm like, did he block me? No way he blocked me. So I go back on the Hinge app and I check. Can't find our conversation. We're no longer matched. Can't find him at all at this point. This man blocked me. Why did you block me for getting to the location on time? I couldn't get it. I couldn't understand it. We had never exchanged social media. So, like, I didn't have his Instagram. I tried looking him up. Couldn't find him. So, yeah, I was upset. I told my therapist about it because I had taken a break from dating. So the fact that this was my first experience after taking, like, almost a year off from dating really got to me. Like, I started blaming myself. I was like, what could I have done differently? Shit was crazy. Told my therapist, and she was like, I wish you would have still taken yourself out. Like, I wish you didn't go back home. You shouldn't have let that ruin your day. And, like, thinking about it, I agreed with her. But at that moment, I was just like, girl, this man really, like, what the hell happened? To this day, I still never heard from him. And I still don't understand why me getting there on time pissed him off. Like, to me at this point, I'm over here thinking to myself, maybe he also had a date at the bowling alley and he double booked and he was already there, because I didn't go inside. I should have. I didn't go inside. But that was my thought process too. Like, maybe he had a girl already and he double booked on a date and he didn't want us to cross paths. I don't know. But I just looked at it as I dodged a bullet, because what are you upset about, for real? So that's why my Hinge match blocked me.
I was gonna she took the words out of my mouth. You dodged a bullet big time.
Put a finger down if years ago you decide to get on a dating app because 3 of your coworkers were on this app and they met their amazing husbands, so they tell you to get on the app and you say okay and give it a try. So a couple days after being on the app, you start chatting with this amazing guy who seems great, and then you decide to take the chat off of the app and give him your phone number. And then after a couple days of texting, you decide to finally meet in person at a local Green Turtle in an area that you're well familiar with, so you feel safe. So you get there and you decide to sit in the bar area because that's where most of the people are. And as soon as the bartender comes, he asks what you'll have, and your date says, oh, we'll have 10 shots of tequila, 5 for me and 5 for her. And you look at him, you look at the bartender, you're like, oh no thank you, I would just have a soda water with lime. And he looks at you and looks at the bartender and says, oh no, she'll have 5 shots of tequila. Then the bartender looks at him and says, oh no, I don't think the lady will be having any. And then your date says, as loud as he can to the entire bar, I'm getting some tonight. I'm getting some tonight. So you look at him and you say, what the F was that? And in that moment, the date is over. So you grab your LV speedy bag to get ready to go, only for him to also grab it to stop you from leaving and ripping off the handle. So you smack him across the face. And then another gentleman in the bar sees what happens and stands up and says, miss, are you okay? And you say, everything's fine, I'm just trying to leave. And the next day, you cannot wait to go back to work to tell your coworker who suggested this app that it's a joke and you will never go on another date from there again. And she tells you, oh no, try again. My man is amazing. He just took me on this amazing date and showed you pictures of her amazing date night, only to realize that the man that you just went on the bar with, Mr. Pussycat Dolls himself, is her husband.
Ciao. That is hot tea. Now that's something I need a series of. Wow.
You want to talk about crazy hairstylists? When I first moved to Atlanta, this girl faked a car accident so she wouldn't have to do my hair. So I'm going to put the little screenshot here. So she messaged me and she says, hey, somebody literally just hit me not too long ago. You wouldn't mind coming tonight, right? Like once I get checked and get my car totaled, things like that. I said, oh my God, are you okay? Shouldn't you go to the hospital? She said, I'm fine, but that's what I'm saying. They want me to come in and get checked. This is March 2021 when this has happened. We all have iPhones nowadays, so when I saved the picture that she sent me of the car, it was April 11, 2020. Mind you, it's March 2021. So she's lying. But I need my deposit back. So we're still texting or whatever, And she said, they want to get checked or whatever. I said, just let me know. I had a lot of stuff going on at work anyway, so it was okay for her to push it back. She said she'll keep me updated. I said, I don't live too far, so just let me know. She didn't text back, so I texted her again. This is where it starts to get absolutely nuts. So I messaged her back. I said, hey, it's getting a little late. Any update? If not, would you be able to send me my deposit back? We can reschedule another time. This is when it starts getting wild. Hey, we just got into her phone. They have her under anesthesia and some more stuff, but she was saying she was okay, but she actually has a minor concussion. When she wakes up, I will tell her to send back your money ASAP. I said, OMG, no worries. I'll check back with her tomorrow. Come on, bro. So at this point, I'm asking for my deposit, and she's like, that's even better because I keep forgetting stuff. I said, I sent the request. And then it says, she said she got it. She got my business phone. She said, let her finish her call. She's working from home, and then she's sending it. I said, when is the call expected to end? I'll check back. Not sure. She works for DirecTV. It's not a time call. It's customer service. And I said, okay, I thought you had your phone. Because, at this point, you're pissing me off because you're lying, and I just want my deposit back. I said, I thought the doctor said you couldn't be on your phone. Yeah, you're lying about the phone thing. Then she says, I got two. She sent it, business and personal. And I don't, but my nurse haven't came in the room yet. So cool. I got my money, so now I can act up a little bit. I said, also, for a minor concussion, they're actually supposed to keep you up. You wouldn't go under anesthesia for a minor concussion. You could have died last night, but I'm glad you're okay. She says, they said something about internal bleeding also. So I'm not sure if that's what the anesthesia is for. Girl, you're taking the lie too far. And I'm seeing her on Instagram. That's what's really grinding my gears. You're lying, and I found your page. So at this point, I knew that Atlanta is a wild place, but this really just took the cake, because why did you fake a whole car accident? So just to let her know that I knew, because you're not finna take me to the bank, I said, a minor concussion would not result in bleeding. Transparency and honesty is always the best. I would have preferred you just to reschedule. Good luck with your karma. She read it, and she never responded back.
Wow.
No time for an introduction. Let's go ahead and get into it. Today we're going to be talking about Dexter Wade. Today is not going to be so much as a story time. I'm just going to really tell you some stuff that didn't happen. Okay, so March the 5th of this year, Dexter was at his mom's house. This is his mom. Her name is Betterson. They got into an argument over something, whatever is not relevant, and then he left her house. This is at 7:30 p.m. on March the 5th. Less than 30 minutes later, at 7:54 p.m., a Jackson police officer ran his man over while he was crossing the highway. Dead. Now, he didn't have his ID on him, but he did have a pill bottle on him that had his full name on it, so he was easily identified. Also, when they took him to the coroner's office, they were able to identify him by his fingerprints as well, so they knew who this man was within a couple of days. Now, when the coroner office identified him, they said they tried to call the mom, but the number wasn't a good number, and so they tried to leave a voicemail, but she said she didn't get it because it wasn't a good number. I wouldn't expect anything less from Jackson. So after the coroners couldn't reach the mom, they said they gave the information over to the police because the police have to notify next of kin. What did the police do? Absolutely nothing. Now, according to some articles that I found, when they did do an autopsy on him, they did find that he had methamphetamines in his system and he also had PCP. Not that it really matters, because if you're crossing a highway, I'm assuming it's like I-55 or 220 or whatever. You can see for a mile down the road, you can see if somebody crossing the way. So in my opinion, this police was not paying attention. But anyway, Betterson, after 10 days, she knows she can't get in contact with her son. So she contacts JPD, Jackson Police Department, to tell them, hey, my son is missing. And even though at that time they had already identified him by his pill bottle, by his fingerprint, they knew who he was. We don't know. We don't know, ma'am. If we come across him, we'll let you know. Now, Betterson was already a little hesitant to contact the police because in 2019, her brother, his name was George, he was killed by a Jackson police officer. Now, I'm not sure exactly how that altercation went, but he was 62 at the time, and they picked him up and body slammed that nigga on the ground, and he died. Because of that altercation, she actually has a lawsuit against Jackson Police Department that is still currently pending for a wrongful death. Keep this in mind. I'm going to come back to that little piece of information in just a minute. Now, before she even noticed that her son was gone, remember, she called 10 days after. Before she even noticed, they had already been messing up on this whole investigation. One thing that they messed up on was they misspelled his name. How do you misspell Dexter Wade? But that was the first mistake. The second mistake was after the coroner's office gave the information to JPD to contact next of kin, which, by the way, he was hit like a mile away from her house. So they could have literally just drove to her house, but they didn't. Jackson Police did nothing. Now, Dexter has 2 daughters, as you can see here. So as the days turn into weeks and into months, they're asking their mom name is Candace, you know, have you heard from Dad? Where's Dad? Nobody knew what this man was. Well, the police knew, but no one in the family knew. Now, the coroner's office, they had been checking up on his family because they have a body sitting at the Hinds County coroner's office. They're checking in with JPD, asking them, hey, did you guys contact the family? They said they did several times. No one ever replied or did anything about it. So after 4 months, his body was hit on March the 5th. On July the 14th, the coroner's office finally applied to get his body moved into a gravesite. It was approved and it was moved to the Hinds County Penal Farm. So basically just what they call the poor folks' grave. And it was still more than a month later, from July the 14th to August the 24th, where they finally notified us, like, oh, you know what? I think she suffered enough. Let's go tell her. They finally told her that, yeah, we have your body, and we've had it since March. Even though they told her in August, she couldn't even go to visit the gravesite until October. It was an unmarked grave with the number 672 on it. That's where his body was. And then after all this, they still made her pay $250 just to get her son's body. Now, Mayor Lamumbo, he finally got up there and started talking. He was like, oh, this is a horrible tragedy. But I blame miscommunication between the missing persons department. You know, blame them. Now, remember I said I was going to come back to the information about her brother George that was killed by JPD? Remember, she has a lawsuit out for wrongful death against Jackson Police Department right now. She believes personally that it was a vendetta against her. Basically, they were mad because she has a lawsuit against them. So when they found out that it was her son, because they knew within days that who he was and who he was related to, she believes personally that they were just like, oh, well. Now, I would like to say, I don't believe people can be that evil. I mean, why would you accrue more possible lawsuits over something like that? I don't know, but who knows at this point, because ain't nobody contact him. All in all, he was missing for 172 days. 172 days. When they knew who he was, who his mom was, where her address was, within like 2 or 3 days of the accident. Now, the family is being represented by lawyer Ben Crump, and he said he's not going to stop until the truth comes out. The family also has a GoFundMe that's set up so they can exhume his body and give him a proper burial. I'm going to try to leave a link down in the comment section, so if you guys want to, donate, definitely do that. But, this is really crazy to think, why would they do this? But I live in Jackson. I personally believe they would do this. In May of this year, I got into a minor fender bender, literally, directly in front of Jackson Police Department off Pascagoula Street. And I sat there with a guy who hit me. I sat there for 4 hours before a policeman showed up. And don't get me wrong, I called several times. I went into the police station and they told me there ain't nothing they could do about it. They literally told me, ain't nothing we can do about it. You gotta wait till somebody show up. And I sat there for 4 hours. And I was directly in front of the police station. Like, when I say directly, I mean directly. So if I could do that for 4 hours, I believe this. I absolutely believe this. This man was dead for 172 days. They knew about it, and they was just like, oh, well, Jackson, y'all gotta do better. Y'all gotta do better. Anyway, this story sucks. It's crazy, right?
Looks like she's gonna get a lawsuit. I don't know. Is Ben Crump the only black attorney that is for black? Why is there always just one black attorney? Like, it used to be Johnny Cochran. you know, and then he's gone out. It's Ben Crump. Like, are there no other black attorneys for, like, wrongful death? Like, it's just crazy to me. Ben Crump, I'm not a fan of his. I haven't seen him do anything yet, but that's just me. Maybe the notoriety of who he is, but I don't know. But hopefully this lady gets some justice, and hopefully I get some justice for this cold and this cold weather and this heater my co-host keeps cutting in and out. It just ain't right, y'all, but I'm gonna fight through this, and I'm gonna let y'all know if all these herbs and remedies I done concocted have helped me. Y'all stay safe.